Hello everyone and welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Oshiomhole Baloye. Let's begin by telling you that the Senate has approved the 2020-2022 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework MTEF and the Fiscal Strategy Paper, the FSP. The lawmakers gave the nod following a debate that lasted about 2 hours on Thursday, earlier today, that is, at the upper chamber of the National Assembly in Abuja. This followed the presentation of the report on the 2020-2022 MTEF SFP by the Senate Committee on Finance. The Senate, after a long debate on Thursday, approved all the 16 recommendations contained in the report of the National Assembly Joint Committee on Finance and National Planning. Also, the Red Chamber, amongst others, have also increased the proposed nation's budget for 2020 from 10.002 trillion to 10.729 trillion. The Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, says that the development had paved way for President Muhammadu Buhari to submit the 2020 budget anytime next week. It's being considered that may happen on Tuesday. And now, the Social Democratic Party, SDP, is taking legal action against the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, over the decision of the electoral body to reject the nomination of the party's candidate for the Kogi governorship election, Ms. Natasha Akpoti, and her running mate, Mr. Mohammed Yakubu. Addressing journalists in Abuja earlier today, the national chairman of the party, Professor Tunde Adeniro, declared that the party would have no option than to drag the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to court to redress the injustice allegedly done to the party in the state. He says that INEC's decision to disqualify the SDP was in contravention of the Section 331 of the Electoral Act as amended, which places no powers in the hands of the Commission to reject or disqualify candidates of political parties that submitted to it within the stipulated time frame. Let's keep you abreast of some other political stories we're following for you on our political roundup.
The president has once again condemned the recent attacks targeted at African migrants in South Africa, forcing many Nigerians who were victims of the violence to return home. During a meeting with his South African counterpart in Cape Town today, President Buhari expressed the hope that the appropriate measures will be taken to prevent a recurrence of the attacks. In his remarks, President Cyril Ramaphosa apologized for the incident, reaffirming his country's commitment to the ideals of African unity.
We call for the strengthening and implementation of all the necessary measures.
The chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Comrade Oshiomhole, has said that the federal government will not heed to calls in some quarters to reopen the nation's borders. Speaking at a meeting with the Controller General of the Nigerian Customs, Oshiomhole says the closure of the border is yielding economic benefits. The Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Colonel Ali Abdulahmed, on his part explains that the closure of the border has contributed to improving local production of goods as well as a reduction in the importation of firearms.
The rate of banditry has come down drastically. Our national policy cannot be formed by getting cheap food through smuggling of poisonous food.
The House of Representatives has passed a resolution urging the federal government to ensure that lawmakers actively participate in the celebration of the country's independence henceforth. The lawmakers are of the opinion that since the struggle for independence was initiated by the Nigerian parliament following motions proposed and passed, it was important for them to be carried along in the celebrations. Reactions have continued to trail the list of commissioner nominees submitted to the Osun State House of Assembly by the State Governor, Mr. Agboyega Oyetola. The people of Ifon-Orolu local government area have condemned the exclusion of their local government from the list. They are calling on the governor to reciprocate their contributions to his victory during the 2018 governorship election.
We be the only local government that will not have any indigenous representation at the state level.
Reacting to this development, Governor Agboyega Oyetola has promised to pacify towns where cabinet members are not nominated with some other appointments.
We're going to ensure that people who believe they have not been adequately treated will be accommodated.